上段节目，我们看到对1970年代起时，毛利人透过文化政治抗争，要求纽西兰政府重视他们的语言文化权，进一步影响的中央语言政策的制定。为做到向来各岛民众接触毛利语言文化，媒体也是他们其中一项重要的工具。故说2004年，毛利电视台成立后，观众人数年成长，同时七成国家唔係毛利人。在教育方面，紐西蘭對學齡前到大學都用毛利化教學嘅學校，就算係一般主流學校，未會教基本嘅毛利語言文化。唔過，當有位毛利人還係對佢哋母語嘅未來唔係過樂觀呢？繼續來看。毛利電視台一年預算差唔多新台幣13億5千萬，代替221員工製作一日8點鐘嘅節目，有新聞、綜藝教學節目、談話性節目、紀錄片，也有後生人中意嘅音樂同體育 talk show。
Reason for Māori television being established was to strengthen and revitalise our language and to make it available in every person's home in the country, but most importantly for Māori people to actually be able to hear the language in their homes and strengthen their language skills. And for many who have moved away from traditional rural areas into the cities, who are no longer as strongly connected to the Māori language and culture, television was the primary means to be able to ensure that our people had that opportunity to stay connected with Māori language and culture.
毛利電視台有英文也有毛利化嘅節目。2008年，在成立嘅全毛利化播出嘅第二頻道得了，每日播出4點鐘嘅節目。我們一開始都成立完全講毛利化嘅頻道呢。這旁總講，毛利電視台成立嘅目的，都係要盡量向觀眾來看，係全毛利化，怕如果當年唔想去看呢。毛利電視台嘅成績也唔會爛。紐西蘭能440萬的人口，每一日都有過100-200萬人收看毛利電視台。韓國刺激係觀眾有77%唔係毛利人。喺紐西蘭36個份嘅橄欖球賽，沒有毛利化嘅錄影轉播。今年10月的紐西蘭會主辦世界盃橄欖球賽，毛利電視韓國係主要嘅轉播電視台，會轉播總計48場比賽。到嘅時看毛利電視嘅觀眾人數，會係以來有史以來最多嘅。
It's a very big opportunity to promote the Māori language and culture, and also for those New Zealanders, each month about 2 million New Zealanders watch Māori television. For the other approximately 2 million, if you set aside young children and others, many of them will be watching Māori television for the first time, and we hope that the attractive thing was that because a tournament goes for 6 weeks, that they would need to watch us for a long period of time, and then hopefully will become regular viewers of Māori television. So that was a big attraction for us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
毛利電視負責向民眾來接觸毛利語言文化，南北還會運用新科技，確保毛利化騰上時代，而幫後生人感覺講毛利化係個新鮮的事情。提示語言嘅 TV 唔單止係唔本一種語言消失，韓國重要嘅係要透過教育維持一種語言，俾生存下去。嗰度毛利人同我講，假如母語唔能夠了解唔係乜嘢，能有辦法表達自家，能有辦法傳釋一個世界。
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of things that are part of my feelings that the English, if you translate it into English, English is not capturing what the essence is in Maori. So if you ask me why teach Maori, because Maori is rich in those sort of thoughts and feelings. And I like to impart that to children. So if you can impart that to children, it's a key to maintaining the language and keeping it alive.
If they're strong in their culture, they can then respect your culture, that culture, the next culture. And because for so many years, to be different in this country was to be wrong. And we're saying to be different is an exciting mosaic about a country. And people can respect the different cultures without denying one in order to uplift another. Like I say, why should one culture die in order that another can survive?
現時紐西蘭政府當年撥差唔多6億紐幣，新台幣135億嘅經費，本各種毛利相關活動，佢大部分係同教育有關嘅事情，尤其愛維持學校嘅運作。紐西蘭對學齡前一直到大學都有全毛利化教學嘅學校，就算係一般嘅主流學校，未都有毛利課程。喺紐西蘭嘅許多大學都有毛利嘅相關部門同相關課程，也係喺威靈頓嘅維多利亞大學，而家一群1年生嘅學生嘅呢，一年都係睇好毛利嘅相關課程，係睇過貼配嘅教師度，也係做嘅像錄一年嘅設備堂，馬來強用。有嘅學生嘅呢，伊從細都係對母語嘅學校開始嘅，唔過也有嘅學生嘅，伊係來到大學，那開始學毛利化嘅。
No here. The class that you observed today was for the students who have already spoken Māori for a while, and so we do try and conduct as much of the class as we can in Māori, just so they get used to that being the language of the classroom. At the beginning of the year, it's quite difficult for them. They definitely find it a challenge. Some of them also take a little while to get used to my particular way of speaking, my accent or my language mannerisms. And so, yeah, but they soon get used to it.
唔可能會想講毛利化是係少數，學嘅人應該唔會幾多。不過其實有興趣嘅人係唔會少喎。同時學生嘅地位許多都唔係毛利人。
Yeah, it's interesting learning different things like that you didn't know that you should know before. But yeah, no, it's good.
Well, I want to be fluent in the Māori language because to be part of the revival of the language and make sure it survives, but also because it can be valuable for a career if you're looking for a career in New Zealand. I want to have a career in politics, and it could be quite useful in that.
And lots of tourists in New Zealand who really want to learn Māori language too, which is quite funny. In what's called my MA 101 class, which is the class for people, absolute beginners in Māori language, I'd say maybe, 30% of the class, 30 or 40% perhaps, are not Māori. Yeah, so a large number. And the class is about 120 students a year. So yeah, it's quite a big proportion.
對一個日本人判死刑嘅人員來講，人家形象同普及程度使得提升很多，看起來嗰種係反常嘅。不過對嗰種人來講，毛利化嘅處境還係幾危險，只怕監督毛利化推行嘅毛利人員委員會，還個係受騙睇嘅等，一些都感覺唔到樂觀。
I think for many years we've believed that the way to handle the new technologies has been coin some new words that describe your new technologies and incorporate them into your, your promotion of using the language in the home and the community and wherever else the people are. But the longer you do that, and the more you do that, the more distant or removed your language is going to grow away from the culture. Right? It's going to end up not really being connected to your culture and you know, the life of your ancestors. It's going to become more and more about your language being used to describe a Western world. Yes, we have done a number of things over the years, but yes, had some good impact. But I also think there's a downside to it. And my fear is that the Māori language is becoming further and further removed from cultural memory, Māori cultural memory, and just Māori culture.
The other issue with native speakers is that these people in our community and society are older, and they are that whole group is shrinking over time. So people with cultural integrity and cultural memory are becoming fewer in number, and there is no deliberate strategy right now by the government to engage them in designing a pathway forward for the language, for the cultural integrity of the language.
We run that every 3 years, and generally it's shown positive results. You know, the status of the language. People have a very positive attitude towards the language. And you probably go on to talk about this. The challenge, though, is that doesn't necessarily translate to people learning the language or being able to use it. You know, people can say, yes, Māori language, I think it's great, but I'm not going to do anything about learning it or to try and use it.
毛利化嘅未來還係有危險。過到長期落身體毛利語言運動嘅人講，上述一隻語言，政府有責任盡量做到以作為到嘅，唔過責任唔係落喺政府。政府是會支持，唔是帶領。唔過前提係毛利人要對自家語言文化嘅價值有認知，提供每三人落喺文化傳承嘅重要角色。唔過當然也唔係咁簡單嘅事情。
Government departments can't do anything. No, they can't. All they can do is hopefully come up with some funding, but ultimately the commitment to using the language has to be with the people. Money is not necessarily the answer.
It's going to be around encouraging our people not to look to the government to be the cure-all for our collective Māori language woes, and that in fact the power is in our own hands. And actually it's about each of us at an individual and a family and a community level stepping up and taking responsibility for what we do with ourselves, what we do for those for whom we are responsible, and what we do for those coming after us. And it's really about putting that back where it belongs. And frankly, whilst the government has a support role, I strongly believe that it does not have a lead role.
看起來紐西蘭政府會操到復甦毛利化作為算許多嘅事情，唔過我哋讀到幾多嘅毛利人如講，要救自家嘅母語，望望政府為唔做嘛嘅，要靠自家，伊能講每啲毛利人，如像伊能第一眼嘅狀況也講，每啲客家人都會扮演好自家嘅角色，母語能救會上。故說下個禮拜都會帶大家去看毛利人用嚟靠自家嘅能力，實力超安尼嘅語言少各行各業哦，本人嘅聲音呢，好年前嘅聲音呢，如貴人嘅身份搭配，伊能毛利嘅母語同文化地位。客家新聞吳義勇同楊山睇紐西蘭嘅採訪報道。